thing is, we're living in a society right now where there's, everyone's trying to live independently, right?
Yep.
Females, males,
Yep.
everyone's trying to be hustlers, both men and females and stuff like that.
Yep.
Would you say the rate of hustle is different between the male and the female?
Well, women don't need money. This is the thing. I mean, there are women out there who say they need to get the bag and all this crap. I think it's a very masculine mindset for a female to have. Women don't really need money, not to the extent a man needs money. I mean, I understand they need to live, and they say it's expensive to get their nails done, blah, blah, blah. But they don't need a nice car. They don't need a nice place to even live. They don't need to pay for bottle bills or table spends or none of these things. They don't need any of that if they're attractive. So being attractive in and of itself is a currency. I don't know if this idea of ugly even then is warped, because let's say a girl, right, goes to the gym every day. Her body is banging. Her hair is long and it's nice and it's maintained. Her nails are done. She's got a nice manicure. She's got sunglasses on. She's dressed up nice. She's got a little dress on. She's got heels on. She's walking down the street. It's hard to be ugly. Do you know what I mean? Like, you might only be a 6, but you're all right. Like, dudes still want you.
Still bangable.
You're still do you know what I'm saying? It's very hard as a chick to become unbangable if you're trying your best.
Unless you fully give up.
Unless you give up. So I think the path because we have to not conflate and confuse issues here. What we're actually talking about is status. We're not talking about money, we're talking about status. Men want money because we want to be high status males. Females want to be high status females. They don't need money to do that. They can do that purely through their aesthetics. So if I was a woman, thank God I'm not, because I think I'd be a terrible existence. But if I was a woman, I would understand, okay, I want to be the highest status female I can. I need to look good. I need to look gorgeous and get a banging Instagram profile. I'm a high status now. Now billionaires want to talk to me. For a billionaire to want to talk to us, we need money.
It's like the whole Dubai portal party situation.
Bruv, you know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a billionaire's boat, the chicks who get on that boat don't have to be anything other than pretty. That is it. For us to get on that boat, we have to be connected, important, rich, interesting. We gotta know people, we gotta network. It's hard. So what I'm saying is, if you're looking for status, whether as a male or a female, there's different paths. I don't think a rich female is a high status female. If you were to take a woman who's unattractive, but she had a bunch of money, no one's gonna look at her and go, wow. No one's gonna give a shit. I don't care. It's busted. I'm not interested. I'd give me the 19-year-old brokey with the big titties. That's the one I want to talk to. So women can access money and women can access high status men via their aesthetics. So I think that's a much more intelligent way for a female to increase her status. Now I know this is going to upset everyone. You're going to be sitting there going, you're saying women are only good for how they look, blah, 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 all this other crap. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that women are judged instantly on how they look. Just like men are judged instantly on our status, how rich we are, the car we turn up in, the table we're sitting at. Yeah. That's the real world. Now, maybe you have more than just some big tits. Maybe you're also a nice person. It's unlikely, but maybe you are. But we're just talking about status games here, right?
Yeah.
So any woman who's dedicating herself to hustling instead of dedicating herself to the gym is making a mistake. Why? Just get a rich man. Get hot and get rich dude. And why? And they go, oh yeah, but maybe he leaves you. He won't leave you unless you fuck it up. Just be quiet.
So you noticed this, transitioning on, you started a webcam business, right?
Yeah, so my first ever business, and people have the really wrong impression of this, but I've explained it a lot of times on the internet and a bunch of other podcasts, so I won't give the really long story, but the first ever business I made a lot of money with was a webcam company. So how that company started, I've told the story, it was a really long story, but basically it's like the old chat lines. Used to have people on the phones, guys used to call them up and speak to the chicks. That kind of modernized and changed to have webcams, including video. So I identified this, and I knew some girls who wanted to make some money. So I was like, look, instead of working in Starbucks or doing this other admin crap, come do this, I'll pay you triple. And then we started that. And that grew into quite a big enterprise. Yeah, across 6 months, I went from one girl up to about 10 or 11 girls, and we started doing 300,000 or 400,000 a month through these online websites that had guys sitting there talking to girls. Now, I want to make this clear. The way I became so successful in that business was because of all the business lessons I had learned from other businesses I tried before, right? if I had not tried a bunch of other businesses and some made money, some didn't make money, etc., I don't think I would have been nearly as successful. I approached it very much like a business. I was not thirsty. I wasn't trying to sleep with the chicks. I wasn't trying to be Dan Bilzerian. None of that kind of crap. It was very, very much a company. It was a business. It was super professional. It was handled in a very professional way. And I applied all the business lessons that I learned in my endeavors of the past. And we managed to make a whole bunch of money. The problem with a business like that is that there's a link in the chain which is broken. Not broken, there's a link in the chain which is always weak. Because you have me and you have the money, and there's something in the middle which is unpredictable. That's females. A bunch of women. Makes it hard.
Here's what I wanted to ask about it though, yeah, because I've got to ask this and I've got to bring it up as well. Most recently there was allegations, right?
Yep.
To do with human trafficking and stuff
Yep.
like that.
Yep.
And there was a video that went around with your house getting raided.
Yeah.
You and I think, was it Tristan as well? Who
Yeah,
also
yeah,
went?
yeah.
Yeah, so what was all that about?
Oh, we'll talk about that. So that's not even related to the webcam company, but that's actually a good thing to bring into that, right? Because females are completely and utterly unpredictable.
Yeah.
So because we live in Romania and because we used to have a webcam company, which we closed like 6 years ago, I'm not even involved in
Oh, you don't even have it anymore?
No, nothing. So even though I'm not involved in it anymore, the actual story behind that is ridiculous. There was a girl from America who came to see Tristan. She was at our party, at our house. We had a big party. It was like 100 people there. Her boyfriend caught her on Instagram. She said to her boyfriend, "Oh, no, I'm not at the party. I don't want to be here. I'll leave when I can," and turned her phone off. And her boyfriend, somewhere in fucking Oklahoma, calls the American embassy in Romania and said, "My girlfriend's been kidnapped." So then armed police roll up to our house looking for this chick. But this is the next day, she's already left. And at our house, we have full CCTV. So they came and they arrested us and was like, "Oh, they kidnapped this girl." The girl wasn't even in the house. And then they went through the CCTV and see her walking around eating pizza and get a taxi home. So they're like, "Oh, okay, sorry." And everything was dropped instantly. So that's just some stupid girl making up bullshit. But that actually ties into what I'm saying. The problem with the original business is you had me and the money, and in between was women. And women are unpredictable and women are emotional. So yeah, I became an expert to a degree at managing females, but there was always that link that was upsetting me. I wanted to be closer to the money myself. And I learned a bunch of things from that business, which I've applied to other businesses, and I've made a lot of money. But truthfully, we're living in a world now where the two things that the webcam business really is selling is it's selling attention, which is the first thing. We live in an attention economy. And also it's selling information. It's a service, right? It's not a physical product. So I sat there and I understood that even if I launched my webcam business, if I had a brand new girl, she has to get attention, right? People have to notice she exists to want to spend money on her. So you have to be an expert at soliciting attention. And then once you get the attention, you have to find a way to monetize it. So the girl would monetize it by sitting there talking away. You could advertise her and spend money. That's all advertising is, getting attention for money, right? Yeah. So I understood a bunch of things. And when I closed that business, and I closed it because I couldn't be bothered with the female headache anymore, I still very much understood any business I'm going to launch from now on out, I need to find a way to get attention. Not in a negative way, not in an attention-seeking way, but that's what advertising is.
Yeah,
how
you need
do
to get
I
yourself out there?
Yeah, how do I get attention in the world today, which is difficult? And then once I get that attention, how do I monetize it?
Yeah.
Because that's the world we now live in. Rihanna, when she launches a makeup brand, no one buys it because of the makeup. They buy it because it's Rihanna. She has attention, and she can monetize it any way she chooses. Rihanna can launch a fucking clothing brand, makeup, sofas. Who cares? It's Rihanna. Yeah. She's gonna sell, right? So that proves that we now live in an economy, we live in a world where the most valuable currency, the most valuable thing that exists is attention. It's extremely difficult to get because people's attention spans are lower than ever.
Yep.
Bro, they're non-existent. Have you ever watched someone on TikTok? Next time someone's on TikTok, watch them. Because I don't have a TikTok account myself, but I see people on it. How long do they give a video to interest them? Maybe a third of a second? They're like,
not interested enough, move on.
Bro, that quick. If you don't get my attention in 0.25 seconds, I'm not interested, right? That's how hard it is now. So, and it's getting harder and harder because the apps and the algorithms are retraining our brains to do that.
Yeah.
So now we live in a world where if you can find a way to hack these algorithms and you can find a way to get attention, there's lots of different ways to do that. Then you can find a way to monetize it, and off the back of that, you can become a very, very wealthy individual.
See, this is where for me, it's, as you say that, it's clicking more and more in my head with Hustlers University, realizing that, you know, to monetization and attention syncs together.
Yep.
That's why there's so many clips of Andrew Tate on TikTok. And so I was speaking about this with one of my guys, and basically we were discussing the fact that if you join Hustlers University, one of the things that you teach us to do, I don't know if you allow me to say it, is affiliate marketing, right? So one of the things people can do is get a referral code for someone else to join Hustlers University, and that's why they're making TikToks, because if you check the pin comment on there, it says join Hustlers University with this referral code.
Correct.
So I'm talking about that.
Correct, yeah. So inside of Hustlers University, we have 18 modern wealth creation methods. We teach how to make money 18 different ways. And when I say modern wealth creation methods, it's because a lot of the wealth creation methods that you're going to hear from older people simply don't work.
Such as property.
Well, yeah, property. I mean, of course, the old guy is going to sit there and go, save your money, put it in a savings account, get a mortgage. Bro, of course that worked for you. You were putting money in a savings account, getting 4% interest. Yeah. Now they wouldn't give us 1%. You're putting money in a savings account. You bought a house for 85 grand. Now it's worth $500,000. And at the time you bought it for 85 grand, you were probably earning 30 grand a year.
Yeah.
Now I'm earning 40 grand a year. The house costs 10 times more. I get no interest on my money. So everything you're telling me is outdated. It doesn't work anymore. If you're gonna follow the path that your parents followed, you're not going to ever become rich. You need modern ways to make money, modern wealth creation. And I won't say what all 18 are, but we teach them inside of Hustlers University because there are ways to make money in the modern world, which no one in your school is going to teach you, which none of the older people are going to know, they're going to talk about. There's a lot of ways to do it. And one of them is monetizing attention. So what you just said in regards to the affiliate section is one of the 18 ways. There's a 16-year-old kid making 45 grand a month from his TikTok. Because all he's done is, he's gone into Hustlers University, he's joined. He say, okay, how do I get attention? I'm 16, I'm not a flawless orator. I don't have a life or life experiences which are interesting enough to be used in a podcast which are gonna ever allow people to pay attention to me. Yeah. But Tate does. So let me go and find all of Tate's old stuff. Let me chop it up. Let me make a TikTok for Tate, that gets attention. How do I monetize attention? Now people are on my page, how do I monetize it? Well, I can take my referral link, I'm in HU, here they can sign up, get 50% off my link, boom. So he's taking attention, the attention that I generated, all he's done is chop up some TikTok clips, monetized it, and he's making 45 grand a month, do 16. Bro, so like it's crazy. So there's so much money that can be made, but you have to find a way to get attention in the first place, right? That's the hard part. And if you look at a lot of companies, so many of them have huge profit margins, but they have to spend all their money on advertising to sell any product, and the margin gets wrecked because they have to get attention the old-fashioned way, which is advertising. And that's a very expensive way to get attention. You need to find another way, and it's difficult. That is the only hurdle between being broke and being a billionaire. Attention. How do you get it without embarrassing yourself and being a jackass? Because no one buys from a clown, right? So me, I'm lucky because I've had a very, very eclectic life, and I'm good at speaking, and I have a good memory, and I have a lot of stories, and I can sit and tell people, and I can talk in a way that make people know I know what I'm talking about. So that's how I get attention, right? But if you don't even have that, then it's difficult. It's hard. You gotta find a way. But yeah, that's what Hustlers University is all about. And we teach people how to monetize attention. And we have 17 other ways to make money. And now we have, as of this, I'll check right now. I think we have 64,000 students.
64. I think I was watching an emergency meeting, clip of it or something like that. I think you said at the time it was 32,000.
64,835 students.
Yeah, mad.
And what's impressive about that is not that I've managed to attract 64,000 people to join Hustlers University.
The fact that they're staying.
It's the fact they're staying. The fact they're staying means that there's 64,000 people making more money each month than they pay. It's only $49 a month, right? So there's 64,000 people who I have successfully taught to make more than they've invested. No school, no business school, no university will guarantee you month on month you make out more than you put in. None, only mine. And I don't exist in a vacuum. The educational system exists in a vacuum because the loans that they'll give you, you can only spend on that education. If they were to open it up to fair market, nobody would go university. If they're to say, here's 50 G's, You can buy Bitcoin, you can start a business, you can put a house deposit, or you can buy a degree. Who's going to choose a degree? No one. So they deliberately link the loan to the education and say you can only have one with the other, because then they don't exist in a fair and open economy, because they wouldn't be able to succeed in a fair and open economy because they are selling a scam. They're selling a lie. I exist in a fair and open economy. You don't have, if you spend $49 with HU, you can spend that on anything else. You can go buy Snickers.
But on the contrary to that, let me
go
ask you
buy
this.
Netflix.
Let me ask you this, yeah, because in the UK, a lot of people see course sellers as scammers instantly. Whether the course is good or not, people always say scammers, yeah. And there's some videos I saw about Hustlers University, people thinking it's a scam or it's not.
Yeah.
So the argument I would have for you is, what's in it for you? Like, what do you gain from having a Hustlers University? Because you're rich already, so what difference does it make?
That's right. So firstly, there's always going to be someone who thinks it's a scam. And man, people are saying Bitcoin's a scam. People are saying, some of the most fundamental, rudimentary, new financial systems on the planet, like the blockchain, are a scam. There's always someone who's going to say something's a scam. There's some people who are negative, and the reason that people are negative like that is because it is a disguise for their laziness. If they say something is a scam, they don't have to try.
Yeah.
Right? If they have to, I'm not saying HU is going to instantly make you rich. You have to work like you do on anything else of value. You have to get in there and try. If they get in there and they don't want to try, what's the first thing they're going to say? Scam. I joined. He told me to do something. It takes an hour and a half. I'm lazy. Scam. That's it. That 16-year-old kid making 45 grand, he's making TikToks all day, every day. He's working. Like, he ain't getting money for free. He's sitting there finding videos, chopping them up, making them entertaining, adding the fucking titles. Then he's working for it.
The thing is, like we were going back to earlier, people ain't got the attention span.
People ain't got the attention span to work anymore, right? So there's always gonna be some idiot who says it's a scam. The fact that we retain 64,000 people proves it's not a scam.
Yeah.
The reason I started it is very, very simple. I think that, I don't want to sit here and pretend I'm a philanthropist, because I'm not. Obviously, I benefit from having this university. It's a very valuable company. It makes a lot of money, right? So why wouldn't I want to run one? But also, it doesn't detriment me. I don't think that some rich people, maybe they believe that there's not much money in the world and they don't want other people to be rich. I completely see it the other way. I see it that there is so much money everywhere, and even I can't get it all. So I want as many people around me as possible to be rich, because now I'm at least around more money. If I send a message inside of HU and said, I want to raise $100 million, amongst my students themselves, I can do it. I've got my own venture capital firm. I was like, boom, all right, 100 million, let's buy a yacht. Here, dish it up, bang, 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 done. Because all of them are making money. I want to know as many people with money as possible. So if I know a way to teach people how to make money, and I'll also make money for teaching them how to make money, and I now have people who I can talk to, so I have access to the money they make, why would I not teach them how to make money? Now, the reason no one else has really done this is because I don't think anyone else knows how to make money as well as I do. And also, nobody else can really prepare and build a platform like we have, or do the work it takes. HU is extremely difficult to launch. It's not easy to find 18 professors who know what they're talking about, build an online platform, then you need the payment gateways, and then even when all that's done, then you got to find a way to get people to join. You got to advertise it. I don't have to advertise anything, because I'm top G, everyone knows. But it's difficult, right? So we don't even have any competition. There's nowhere else on the internet you can go and spend $49 and sit for an entire month learning from 18 millionaires how to make money. There's nowhere else on the planet. It's the only place. So we have no competition. So we're about to conquer the world. We're about to conquer the world, and that's a good thing.
You said this value's at what, about 300 million, you said, right?
Well, let's do some basic math, right? So as of this morning, what did we say? 64,853.
Yep.
So 64,853 times $49 a month. So that's 3.1 million a month it generates.
Yeah.
That's all profit. It's an online platform. So what's that a year? 3 times 12 is 36 million a year. So, and then if you're going to put a multiplier on a business, there's different ways you can do it. If you're going to do you can do a 4 times multiplier, et cetera, et cetera. But tech companies usually get an 8 times multiplier. And it's usually an 8 times multiplier of the turnover, not even the profit, right? Mm-hmm. So that's my turnover, but my turnover and profit, the same thing. So it's easy to value it at 10x, right? Which is 36 times 10 is 360, or an 8x is 300.
That's crazy.
But I'm never going to sell it, because I won't sell it because it's mine, 1. 2, I don't need money. And 3, I don't trust anyone else to teach the things that the things we're teaching actually work. It's not going to be some vanilla bullshit, right? It actually works. And I also think like a lot of these people, a lot of these wealth gurus and crap online, they don't teach shit that really, really works. A lot of them also just teach mindset, because mindset is an easy cop out. They'll sit there and go, I'll teach you how to be rich with mindset. They'll just tell you to be mindset. And you'll be like, at the end of it, you're like, all right, cool. Where's the money? I'm ready now. I'm positive, G. How do I get paid? Right? We don't do any of that. We're like, okay, here's how you get paid today. Do this. And there's people who are in there who think they're too smart to listen, and they don't make any money. And then there's 16-year-olds who join humbly. I don't know shit. I trust Top G. You said make TikToks. Safe. Boom, boom. And he's buying his mama house. So like, it's all about that. A lot of people with no money are really, really arrogant. I know a lot of broke people who are very arrogant. They'll come along and go, I think that's a scam. Oh, do you, Brokey? Oh, Brokey thinks it's a scam. Oh, tell me again about how my online educational platform, the biggest in the world, which I've built, when I'm flying around in my private jet, tell me again about how I'm out here to scam you if you're fucking 36 pounds. It's dumb, because they're arrogant. And their arrogance is a shield for their laziness. People will shield laziness with anything. No one wants to admit they're lazy. So they'll shield it with disbelief. That's a scam. Or, I don't work hard, I work smart. Bollocks, more cover. Just anything it takes to say, I don't want to work.
Do you believe in that work smart or not harder?
I believe in both.
Yeah.
But there's a time when it comes to working smart. And most people are trying to do the smart work before they do the hard work. It's kind of like talent, right? You don't notice if you're talented at something until all the hard work's done.
Yeah.
I could be the most talented tennis player in the world, but I don't play tennis. So if I go down the tennis court, Joe Schmo's gonna smoke me. I don't get to see my talent until I've worked so hard that I'm in the top 1%, and now I'm beating them because I have some God-given gift.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
You have to do the hard work first. If there's no hard work, there's no smart work. So someone's gonna sit there and go, I work smart, I don't work hard, so I only have to work an hour a day. If working smart gets you a lot done in an hour a day, then you should work smart for 12 hours a day and get 12 times the work done. I am absolutely and utterly a believer in hard work. I'm a proponent of hard work. I have all this money and all I do is work. My entire life is work. This podcast is work. I'm getting in the car, I'm going to another meeting, work. I'm going to fuck a bitch, that's work. She's gonna be on my arm at the fucking Cannes on the film festival. That's more credibility. I consider it work to fuck her. That's work. I wanna go to the gym so I'm in good shape, work. It's all work. My entire life is work. And people don't wanna look at life that way. They wanna talk about work-life balance and being lazy and all this crap. I don't believe in any of that. I believe in, if you wanna win, you have to outcompete the man who's prepared to do nothing but work. It's player versus player. If you're gonna sit there and go, I don't wanna work more than an hour a day, well, the guy who does wanna work more than an hour a day is gonna beat you. And no matter how smart you are, there's always a smart dude who's doing the same smart work you are for more hours than you're doing it. That's just the nature of the game. And this is why we talk about things like passive income. Passive income's a fucking scam. I'm tired of people coming to me saying, I wanna make passive income. And I sit there and say,
what methods of passive income would you say is a scam?
It's not about it being a scam. It's about the mentality towards it is a scam. Look, everyone loves passive money, right? I make money as I sleep. Yep. I get it. You need to de-link your time to your money, because if you're only working for money, you run out of time, you can't make enough money. I understand all those principles. My point is, if you have no money and you're coming to me saying, I want to make passive income, why are you not making active income? Get up off your ass and work first. Because there's no such thing as completely, truly 100% passive. You're gonna have to check on it. You're gonna have to maintain it. You're gonna have to find a new tenant for that property. You're gonna have to make sure that DeFi crypto farm you're in doesn't go to zero. It's not a rug pull. Yeah. You're always gonna have to keep an eye on it, right? But the idea that people with no money are already so concerned with making money without work is amazing to me. You should be worried about active income. If you show me, if I'm a brokey, and you show me how to make $1,000 an hour, I don't sit there and go, okay, but how can I make that passive? I go, cool, I'm making $18,000 a day because I'm gonna work. Dude, you don't need to worry about passive income until you have no more time. I look at passive income because I have 18 hours a day I work. When all 18 of those hours are done and my workload still isn't finished, I have to find a way to make some of those income streams passive, either via staff or whatever else.
Yep.
And that's how I work smart. I use all of my time, and when all my time is done, now I have to become more efficient so that I can get more done within the same time frame. To sit there and say, I don't want to use my time, so I want passive income, is dumb shit. The 16-year-old making 45 grand a month, if he was to sit to me and go, I don't want to make the TikToks, I want someone else to do it, make it passive, then he wouldn't make any money. He's just working. You have to just work. At some point you have to bite the bullet and just work. So when someone comes to me talking about passive income and they're a brokey, I'm like, you are just lazy. You are lazy. You'll never get anywhere. Lazy people never get anywhere in life, doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter if it's tennis or money. If you're lazy, you're never going to get there. That's how it works.
See, that's what motivates me, telling people straight how
It's true, but it's fucking true, bro. They're lazy. And another thing about people is they're quitters. I can't stand quitters. We have a thing inside Hustles University. If someone unsubscribes, I ban them.
Is it?
Yeah, you're not allowed to rejoin.
Yeah.
And they email me like, oh, sorry, I had a problem with my card, I want to rejoin. I don't need members. I got money. I do not need your membership. I do not need you. It's not a business where we need you. You need us, right? So if you're the kind of person who's going to quit because it's hard, then fuck off. I don't even want your energy around me, because quitters are the worst people on the planet. You can give a quitter absolutely everything and they will still fail. You can give it, doesn't matter what it is. If you go to IKEA and buy a flat pack fucking table and put it in front of a quitter, you will never have a table. He'll look at it, it's just long, and he'll quit. Quitters can have every single advantage. Quitters can have all the information. Quitters can have all the tutelage. Quitters can have a mentorship. Quitters can have someone who messages them every morning, hey bro, let's get it. And guess what they're gonna do at the end? Quit. They ain't never gonna have shit. So if you're a quitter, I don't even want you even inside my organization. I don't want quitters anywhere near me, because you're never gonna be successful. And the people who join and then quit because they had to do an hour's work are the people who come along and go, take this, maybe it's a scam. Idiots. Peons. They will stay brokies and wagies forever. Leave them there, right? You need the people who don't quit. I don't quit. Every single facet of my life is testament to the fact that I don't quit. When people see my plane in the sky, you can say whatever you want about me. You can call me arrogant. You can call me anything you want, but you cannot call me a quitter. I didn't quit. So that's the difference. When it was hard, I did it anyway. That's who I've always been. And if you don't have that kind of tenacity, you're never going to be anything. So the people who come along and talk about passive income, they sound like quitters to me. They sound like people who don't want to work. I love work. I'm ready to work. I'll dig a hole. Bro, you offer me $1 billion right now, give me a shovel, I'll dig a hole. I don't give a fuck. Give me the shovel, give me the money. I will dig a hole. I'm not afraid of work.
One of the hustles that I want to move to that you've been involved in is casinos, right?
Yeah.
So I was watching a podcast and you overheard someone in the UFC or the Romanian UFC saying that they made $18 million a day in the casinos, right? Yeah. You don't own casinos.
Yeah. So, yeah, I have a stake in some casinos in Bucharest. COVID came along and made that a bit difficult.
Yep.
But that's another reason why you have to diversify, right? So I'm involved in the casino business, I'm involved in a bunch of businesses. But that's why you have to diversify, because COVID came along and wrecked a whole bunch of businesses, but then also it made others a whole ton of money. That's another thing about making money and networking and that kind of thing. Once you can diversify, it's amazing. So they say don't put all your eggs in one basket. That's half true. If you have something and it's working, yeah, focus on it, make a bunch of money, but then you need to diversify and make yourself anti-fragile, which I'm glad I did. So the casino business, it's kind of new. It's a few years old, but I can't say much about it because we had a 2.5-year gap where they closed everything. So we're just starting again. So, but at that time also crypto went to the moon. So I threw like 2 million in Bitcoin up to 20 million. So that's how it works. You gotta have a lot of pans in the fire and you'll be okay. So yeah, I've got the casino business running. I've got a few things running. I've got the war room as well, which is something else we can talk about later on. So I've got a whole bunch of stuff going on. But also diversification becomes very easy when you have a good team. It's amazing, every single thing I talk about ties back to things we've already talked about before. We talked about having good people around me, right? So how can I run all these casinos while I'm not even there? Well, I got people around me who can do things for me. I've got a good team of people. If you start with a good team, you're gonna make it. That's really true. Brotherhood in and of itself is so valuable. If you sit around with 20 people and none of them are lazy and none of them are snakes, you're gonna be fine. So you need to have people you can give this guy's in charge of this thing. That guy's in charge of this
Delegate
thing.
people, different roles, different tasks.
Absolutely. You got to have a team. You got to have a network. And my network is so strong. That's one of the big advantages I have. I have people around me who I can genuinely, seriously trust.
I want to ask you something, yeah? Everyone always asks about best advice you've ever received, right? What's the worst advice anyone's ever given you?
It's a good question. I've seen a lot of bad advice on the internet. What's the worst advice anyone's ever given me personally? I never really listened to anybody. So it's hard for me to talk about advice because I never listened to it. The traditional path to wealth is terrible advice. To go to university, get a degree, get a job, blah, blah, blah. That's terrible advice. We already know that. We talked about that. I think follow your passion is also a terrible piece of advice.
Yeah?
Yeah. People say, hey, man, you need to find what you're passionate about and do that. And what they're trying to say is only do what you like because you have no motivation to do anything else. And motivation in and of itself is a scam. I don't believe in motivation. I believe in discipline. I am not motivated to do the things I'm supposed to do every day. I don't wake up full of like joy that I have to go to the gym or that I have to work or got to deal with crap. I don't feel motivated to do them. I'm disciplined. I do them regardless of how I feel. Whether I'm in the mood to do it or I'm not in the mood to do it, it gets done. That's discipline. Discipline's a real thing. Motivation is fleeting.
Yeah. You're
never going to be permanently motivated. So when someone comes along and says, oh, do what you're passionate about, what they're saying is you'll have endless motivation and then you'll be able to try hard. If you're the kind of person who can only try hard at something he enjoys, then you're going to fail. Because most things you enjoy don't pay any money. If they paid money, you wouldn't enjoy them. It's called a job, right? Nobody likes their job. You like your hobby. I'm sure you like playing video games. Maybe 1%, 0.1% can make money from video games, right? Most people, you ain't ever going to make it.
Yeah.
Do you think the guy in China who owns a concrete plant is passionate about concrete? Do you think he's sitting there stroking it at night, naked in bed? Fuck no. It's money. Be passionate about success. If you're passionate about money, then you can be passionate about anything. I'll be passionate about any business on earth that pays me. If you pay me $1 billion to dig that hole, I'll be very passionate about that hole. I will dig that hole with passion for the cash.
Yeah, because you know the cash.
For the money.
Yeah.
That's right. So when people come along and say, oh, you need to find something you're passionate about, follow your passion. Bro, you're going to follow your passion to the fucking food bank. You're never going to make any money that way. You have to sit there and go, what is going to pay me? And I often talk, there's another thing we teach inside of Hustles University and also the War Room. The War Room is a network I have which is a level above HU. Everything I've talked about with brotherhood and people you can trust and capable people, that's what the War Room is. The War Room are people who have come along and we've all agreed, very much like me and Tristan have a relationship. It's 2,100 men now in 72 countries, and we've all basically signed a contract. We're brothers. So I have 15 businesses operating inside of there. Businesses are opening all the time. No one's ever been snaked. No one's ever been robbed. It's just 2,100 guys making money all around the world. We're doing everything you can possibly imagine, bro. From selling olive oil to private jets, you name it. We got it all going on. So this is serious. It's very much like the Freemasons, but cool. Yeah? So that's the War Room. So we got the brotherhood aspect as well, but yeah, it's all about people. It's all about network. That's the truth.
You know what I want to ask you, yeah? There's a lot of clips of you giving stories of where in scenarios anyone else would have died, something like that. There was a story on Tate Speech, right, where you're driving the 911, some guy in a super fast compass. If anyone else was driving, they would have died, yeah? Where does this killer survival instinct from Tate come from?
I think the world is a violent place. Violence all around us. I think that I view the world in a violent way. And I don't mean that in a negative context. I say a lot of things and people take them as negative, but I see them as positive. Like I say I'm an angry person and people imagine me to be like unhappy. Yeah. I'm super happy, but I'm angry. Angry's motivating. You can't sleep if you're angry. So you gotta work. Right? So I'm an angry guy, but I'm a happy guy. And I see the world as a violent place. I've always seen it as a violent place. If most people look at a tree, they see a beautiful tree. Right? If I look at a big, strong, beautiful tree, I think he must have fucked up every other little sapling around him. He took all the water, took all the nutrients, he destroyed them all. There was once 20 trees, and all 19 are dead. And they got one tree left, the big G, top G tree, top tree. Take. That's it. That's violence. Violence got him there. right? He destroyed his enemy. That's how he got to the top. You see a beautiful tree, I see violence. You understand? And that's the true nature of the universe. You have to learn that you have to take things from other people. And by taking it, I'm not saying go rob a bank. I'm not saying that. I'm saying completely the opposite. You can be a philanthropist. I'm taking money from everyone inside of HU, but I'm changing their lives. It's a good thing. You can take money in a positive way. Most people don't look at life that way. And when you look at life that way, you need to start identifying. One of the things we teach inside of HU is to identify every single time your money is taken from you. So I say this to people, I say, for the next 2 weeks, every time you spend money, even if it's £1, write down how they got it from you. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, all right, cool, you're walking down the street, you're going to Starbucks, you buy a coffee. Why did they take your money? Well, I wanted coffee. Yeah, but how? Okay, you wanted coffee, right? Cool. Did you only want a coffee because you saw Starbucks, or did you want a coffee beforehand? Why did you want their coffee and not another coffee? Did you buy a cake as well? Why did you buy a cake? All right, cool. So now you identified how they took your money. Then realize how they could have took more of your money. You bought a cake, but you didn't buy a sandwich. Why? The sandwiches weren't on display, or they looked cold, or they looked rubbish. Or the woman who was serving me was old and ugly. Maybe she was a young cutie and talked to me about bologna sandwiches or a bomb, right? So you need to start identifying how your money is taken from you. Because once you identify how your money is taken from you, you can start to actually intelligently think about how you can take money from other people. If I had to open a coffee shop, if I sit in a coffee shop, right? If I sit in Starbucks, the whole time I'm in there, not only am I thinking about how they got the money from me and how much I spent, I'm thinking about how I could outcompete them. I'd sit there and go, okay, cool, I'm in Starbucks and spent £5.68. I got a latte, I got a donut. I'm sitting here. And that business place, that commercial property right across the street is available for this. How could I outcompete this coffee shop which just took me? What's the profit margin on this £5.68? How much did this cost them? Coffee, pennies. Donut, 30p. Right? How much is the staff? They pay the staff minimum wage £8 an hour. So I've already paid half. I've already paid 30 minutes work for that. She's there for 30 minutes for free, right? How much is the rent? How much is the business rates? Why to open up there? How would I attract people to come into my shop as opposed to their shop? They got a big brand name. I'm brand new. Okay, well, the bitch working here is ugly. My one's gonna be hot. Boom, that's the beginning. Next thing, do they have any signage outside? No, I'm gonna try and put some signage outside. Do they have parking? No, I need parking. But you need to start thinking about how you can convince people to give you their money as opposed to giving it to the places they already give it.
Different analytics.
And once you do that, people say, I can't think of how to make money. If you start doing that for a year and just keep a notepad, you'll have 100 ideas on how to make money. You'll sit there and go, there's a place here that's doing this and we could do it better this way. This place online's doing this, we can do it better this way. And then to get them all done, what do you need? Network. You need people. It's all about people. Then you need to either go in the war room, if you want to join, or have your people around you and say, okay, we can make money with this. Who's going to do it? Who's not lazy? Who's getting up at 4 a.m. tomorrow? Boom, let's get it done. So there's unlimited ways to make money, but most people go through life and their money is taken from them and they don't even identify how they got tricked out of it.
They're just happy with it.
Yeah, they just have, how did I spend 16 grand in Cirque last night? Oh, because my ass got drunk. How'd they get me drunk? Well, because the guy, when I first bought the first bottle of champagne, was there on the table, pouring, putting it in my hand, got me drunk, then I spent 16 grand on bottles. That's how they got my money. So if I open a club, I need to make sure when people first come in, they get fucking hammered. Nobody thinks about it that way. Nobody thinks, how did they get that out of me? Right? Why am I spending $2,000 for dinner in Novikov? Is it the food or is it the fact that I'm in Novikov and tag myself in Novikov? You have to identify how you're getting famoosed, how you're getting finessed. That's how you do it. But most people just walk through life getting finessed left, right, and center, giving all their money up. And they're like, oh, how did that happen?
You gotta learn to finesse other people.
Yeah, but it's not finessing in a negative way.
It's in a good way.
It's a good way. You have to take money from other people. That's the only way you're gonna make money. Yeah. You have to take it. There's a pimp, and he said a really intelligent line. He said, business is just other people's money. That's all business is. I want to start a business. So you want other people's money. That's what you want. So how are they going to give it to you? You have to think about it. Nobody thinks about it. And the easiest way to think about it is to think how you're giving yours away. That's a mental model you should adopt.
Yeah.
And you'll end up with loads of business ideas. Business ideas are everywhere. It's just execution which is difficult.
You know what, going back to what we said earlier about the survival instinct here, at the end of the day, the way I see it is, and this relates to Islam as well, yeah? I'm a Muslim.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, when day of judgment comes and all that stuff, every man for themselves, essentially, right?
Yeah.
Am I right in saying that? Yeah? Every man for themselves, and that's where that comes from. So you're prepared for that. And I saw in clips as well that you've got an understanding and sort of respect for Islam. So
a massive respect for it. I have a massive respect for Islam because they have principles which they refuse to bend on. And we live in a world now where every single principle is being constantly bent and broken.
Yeah.
And I like to see a fundamental, or I like to see a mental model which is rigid.
Yeah.
There's nothing left rigid anymore. The law isn't rigid. Christianity isn't rigid. Like the only thing you can sit there and say they will not bend or they will not break is Islam. So I have absolute respect for them because it's just a masculine imperative. It's just a masculine mindset to have. And as a man, I respect people who say what they mean what they say. Those are the rules. Oh, you don't like it? Tough. And besides Islam, there's not much of that left in the world now. Now everything's just bending and breaking and they're making it up.
Yeah.
Like, I think Christianity is a joke. I think it's a joke of a religion. If someone were to ask me my religion, I would have to say, if I was to find God, it would have to be via Islam, because how am I going to go to a Christian church when they got gay pastors and shit? The Bible says no, and you're just ignoring it. What is this? It's not even a thing. Like, to me, it's a joke of a religion now. I think it's a joke. So if you're gonna bend all your own rules, if you're gonna be tolerant of everything and stand for nothing, then I don't think you have any.
It's just like people are getting onto the president of Qatar, because he's not allowing gay pride or flags or anything to be shown in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Right? So what's your opinion on people expressing their communities, for example?
My opinion is that you're in Qatar.
Yeah.
So
no, but I'm talking about in general though.
Yeah.
In general, people expressing their happiness for gay pride and stuff like
the
that.
problem is, and I don't want to come across as homophobic, and I want to get this video taken down either, but the problem is that a lot of these things are not what people think they are. There are people who think so surface level. The people inside the Matrix think surface level. They sit there and think, this is only about accepting what gay people want to do. I don't care what gay people want to do. I'm not homophobic. I don't give a shit what they want to do. It's not about that. What's actually happening is that the New World Order and people who are in charge of the world are using certain agendas to enforce. They're using them as a disguise to enforce hidden things. You understand? It's like the Green New Deal. They come along and say global warming, global warming, global warming. They pretend it's about the planet, but really it's about just raising taxes to the sky, locking you in your house and taking your car away. They don't give a shit about the planet. It's a disguise. So the people who are in charge of the world are using certain agendas which they don't want you to argue against to sneak in a bunch of other legislation, a bunch of other rules. And the whole pro-gay acceptance thing is exactly the same. It's nothing to do with gays. The people who are in charge of the world don't care about anyone but themselves. They don't care about you, whether you're gay or straight. They're not interested. What they're interested in doing is controlling the minds of people and affecting the way people operate in a way which is beneficial to them. I don't want to get too political on this podcast to say what they're really doing, because this video will get taken down. But anyone who has a brain, who wants to go and find out, you will find out that all this green agenda they're pushing has nothing to do with the environment. All this gay stuff they're pushing has nothing to do with gay people. It's all to do with control. The people who are in charge of the world want more control. If they gave a shit about global warming and rising sea levels, why does every single multi-millionaire and billionaire buy a house on the beach? It's the first place they buy their mansion. I thought we're all going to drown next year. It's a lie. It's all a lie. They don't care. But by saying that, now there's carbon credits, carbon limits. You can't drive your car past 8 p.m. because of the environment. You can't eat meat anymore because of the environment. Stay home, eat the bugs, be a slave, be a slave, be a slave. Every single government in the world is interested in control. That's all they've ever wanted. It's all they ever want more of. Governments want control. They want to control their populace. They think of us as sheep. We're cattle to them. They want us to comply. They don't want our individuality. They don't want us to think for ourselves. They want us to just sit there and obey like robots. So every single one of them is slowly inching, day by day, pushing the limits, taking as much control as they can from the people to the people who vote. If you do it slowly and incrementally, they get away with the law. And that's what they're doing. And they're all inching towards communism, which is what they want in the end, because communism is the governmental system that allows for the most control over the world. People sit there and go, oh no, the governments don't want communism. The governments want free enterprise because governments want money. The governments want everyone to be rich. They want people to be wealthy. This is beyond money. The people in charge of the world print the money. They don't care about money. They don't care about economies. They don't care about taxes. All these things are low-key consideration. When you print the money, you don't give a shit if the economy's good or bad. You print the money. You don't care. What you care about is when you click your fingers, do people obey you? That's what they want. They want power. That's what it's really about. The whole world's about power. So when someone comes on TV and tells me I'm supposed to believe something, you need to believe this about the planet. You need to believe this about the gays. You need to believe this about this virus. You need to believe this. I sit there and I look at it and go, why do you want me to believe this?
Do you think? Yeah,
why? It's a lot. And sorry, you got me started now. Sorry, but it's like, why do you want me to believe this? Do you want me to believe this because it's good for me, or is it because it's good for you? Are the rules made for the benefit of me, or are they made for the benefit of the people who make the rules? And you sit there and you understand that all of it is programming. All of it is a lie. They want you to believe things that are not true, like go to university, get in debt, sit there, learn or get a degree. That they want you to believe all this crap so that you are as enslaved as they can make you. This is all they want. And I understand that. So whenever they come along with anything, this is not about gay people as a whole. Don't give a shit. Any agenda they try and push on me, I know is not for my benefit. I know it. So I reject basically all of it.
I was going to say, do you think that people expressing mental health and depression is part of that?
Mental health and depression is an interesting one.
I've got a conspiracy theory behind this one as well.
All right. Well, mental health and depression is an interesting one because, like, you look at Tyson Fury, right? How can you not respect the heavyweight champ? Gypsy King, G, right? And he was talking about how he was depressed and how he fought his way out of it and everything. Huge respect for the guy. He was depressed, and the only way he fought and beat his depression was one day he got up, grabbed himself by the bootstraps, got in the gym, became the champ again, brought himself back to the former champion he was. Mm-hmm. He did it himself, right? And I think that that's really the only way any of these things can be beaten. I think if I were to talk to Tyson or Tyson were to talk to anybody, he'd say the same thing. He'd say, look, end of the day, even if you're struggling, it's you that's gonna have to get up and get the work done and change your life. I think that a lot of the help, which is being purported now by the system, by the Matrix, isn't designed to help. I think it's designed to keep people in this state of depression, because when you're depressed, you're submissive. You don't care about what happens to you if you're depressed. Depressed people aren't gonna riot against a new law or against COVID tyranny because they're depressed. They're too busy. They're at home and they're sad. I think that keeping everybody in a degree of semi-neutered depression, semi-sad, is good for their ability to control all of this. So when they go on the TV and say, you're depressed, it's a disease, you can't fix it, there's nothing you can do about it, it's not your fault, I think they're just trying to reinforce in your mind that you're never gonna get better. I think if they really cared, they'd say, like Tyson Fury says, you're depressed, but you can beat this, you can do this. I don't hear them saying that very often. They just sit there and say, everyone's depressed and it's normal, accept it. No, I don't accept that. I don't accept that. I don't think people should sit there and accept that they're sad. Change it. They think only you can change it. That's what I do.
I'll save my theory for off camera.
Yeah, we don't Tyson turn up here. So.
Yeah, literally.
Got it, bruv. You got it. What are you saying? How's your day going?
It's going good, man. I'm breathing.
Yeah.
Which is a good start. Surviving on the breadline, getting the bills paid. I'm doing all right.
Especially in London where, things are hot all the time.
Yeah, things are hot. Yeah, the world's kind of getting like that for me now. Ever since I conquered TikTok, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, it's just people, hey, it's Top G. And some people love me, some people hate me.
Yeah.
And in certain parts of the world, that's not a big deal. In other parts of the world, I'm a bit on edge.
How long would you say you've been conquering TikTok for? Like, how long? Because it seems like you kind of spawned out of nowhere, almost.
I put a plan together to conquer TikTok 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And I've now completed my conquest.
Yeah,
bro, done. So I conquer TikTok faster than the nation states conquer countries. 4 months, I put a plan together, boom, done. Now it's mine, I own it. Finished. Didn't spend a penny, didn't spend a single penny on advertisements. I don't even have a TikTok account myself.
Yeah.
I just put a plan together and we made it happen. And it's done.
I want to get to that plan later on, because from what I've thought, I haven't asked you directly, I'm not asking you on this podcast, but it seems like a genius strategy. I think I know what it is.
Yeah, I'd like to say I know what I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
I must be doing something right.
Yeah.
Because life seems to be going pretty well. So we put the plan together and then we execute. executed it. And a lot of the time is not just the plan, it's the execution and the tenacity behind the execution.
Yeah.
We were tenacious like we always are, and we moved with speed and we got it done.
Before we get into it, make sure you subscribe and set the bell notification to all so you never miss a single episode. You know what? This is why I wanted to get you on, yeah, because a lot of things that you say, a lot of clips that I see resonate with me. Like, you see this, your typical motivational speech, yeah, that don't motivate me, yeah, I'll be honest. There was a speech I remember about how much you want to succeed if, you know, something to do with breathing. This guy called Eric Thomas.
Yeah, yeah.
That, I remember everyone was like, yeah, that's so motivational, it didn't hit me.
Yeah.
I'd rather have Andrew Tate call me a brokey, call me a wagey. Actually, I'm not wagey, but I'd rather that motivates me.
Well,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah, and that's the thing about the way I talk and the things I say. Some people find it inspirational, and some people are upset by it, and their ego prevents them from learning from it.
Yeah.
But it's the kind of people who are really genuinely upset by what I say are the kind of people who can't truly learn anything and become successful in life.
Yeah.
I obviously know what I'm talking about to some degree, right? So if Mike Tyson walks in here and tells you he's going to teach you how to box, and says you can't fight, you're a pussy, if that upsets you, then you can't learn, right? It's Mike Tyson. Just shut up and listen.
Yeah.
If someone richer than me comes along and says, Andrew, you don't know shit, you're a dumbass and you're a brokey, I'm going to sit there and go, okay, maybe I am a brokey, Elon. Tell me something, right? I'll listen, but if you're going to sit there and go, don't call me names, and then I not listen, you're never going to get anywhere, right? You don't become the master unless you're very, very good at being a student, and I've always been very, very good at knowing when to shut up. But I've got to a point in my life now where I don't have to shut up ever. So I don't.
How long would you say you were a student for? That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm still a student of life, right? Nobody knows everything, and there's still a lot of people who I respect and will always respect and always am quiet around and treat with absolute respect. But I've been learning for a very, very long time. I've always been very, very observant, trying to pay a lot of attention. And life really doesn't have to be that complicated. When you see somebody that has something you want, you just got to try and work out how they got it.
Yeah.
And that's the missing part. Most people see people with things they want, and they don't do the second half. They don't try and work out how they got that thing. Oh, my man has a Ferrari. Okay. I wish I had a Ferrari. Okay. They don't sit there and go for an hour. How did he get a Ferrari? It doesn't cross that part is the part they don't want to do, right? They just go, oh, he has a Ferrari. Wish I had a Ferrari. And they go back to TV.
Yeah.
That's why they lose.
You know what? Here's where I want to start, yeah, because I feel like this point here is probably the point of which your whole life revolves around, right? I want to say, in my opinion, and that's the Matrix.
Yep.
Yeah? I want you to kind of break that down and explain it, because obviously, I'm assuming you get the name from the film and the whole, you know, what the film's about.
Yep.
But if you have to relate that to your life and life in general, what exactly is the Matrix?
When I talk about the Matrix, I'm talking about the systems which have been created by society, which are deliberately designed to enslave. In the movie, the Matrix were used for our body heat, but here in this Matrix were used for our efforts and our energies. And you're existing inside of a system which is deliberately rigged to make the rich richer and for the poor to stay poor.
Yeah.
And you can sit there and get upset about it. You can sit there and cry about it and say the system needs to change, which is what some people do, socialist, XYZ. But I think I know that's a waste of time, right? That's futile. The best thing to do is to understand the rules of the game and find a way to win. So yes, the game is rigged. Yes, the rich are always going to get richer. Yes, the poor are always going to struggle. And that's the way the game is set up. So you still need to find the best move on the chessboard. There's no point sitting there saying, I want to play a different game, because that's never going to happen. Because the people with the money are the people who have the control and they have the power, and why would they have the game set up any other way? Why would they change it? Right? It's also the basic of economics. I think a lot of people don't understand the true basics of economics, and the basics of economics state that even giving money to the poor, it ends up back in the hands of the rich. There's no way to stop the rich getting richer. I've already explained this before. But I remember during COVID when they did the stimulus checks, and they passed out all this free money to everyone, $1,000. In England, they gave a lot more money, but in America, everyone got like $1,400 each, and everyone was happy about it, saying, oh, he's giving money to the poor. Yeah, but what do those poor people spend that money on? They either, well, Amazon stock tripled because they all went to Amazon. So Jeff Bezos got richer, right? But the fact is that there's less companies than there are people. All those $1,400 checks amongst all those people at the bottom ended up in the hands of a few companies. And the rich got richer, and you can't stop it. Doesn't matter if those people invested their money, doesn't matter if they bought stocks, doesn't matter if they bought crypto, doesn't matter if they bought a house, whatever. The people who have the assets and have the companies and have the control are always going to end up getting control of the currency, and they're always going to be richer. So that's kind of how it works. And it's getting worse and worse. It's have-nots and have-yachts.
I think it's all about being an opportunist, right? Because there's a lot of crypto people here right now. And I remember you was on your video or something. Crypto was at a point where it was like £3,000. So what's that, about $5,000? I want to say something like that. I think more or less everyone here bought some.
Yeah.
But the whole general public thought it was going to. And you know the opportunity there, no one grabbed it.
Yeah, and that's another thing about opportunities, right? Because you have to be positioned to take advantage of opportunities.
Yeah.
It's like in chess, they say good moves come from good positions. It's true. You can't find a good move from a terrible position, right? If you're sitting at home with no money, it's hard to invest in Bitcoin at $1. Doesn't matter what it goes to, right? You got to be in a good position to take advantage of things. So you've always got to be in a position where you have a good network, you have good information, you have some kind of liquid money, you have the ability to survive without that money, you can take a risk. Like, it's hard to set yourself up. I'm in a position now where I'm in the NBA. I'm an NBA player. I can never go broke again. So it doesn't matter, right? Once you're in the NBA, I can throw $1 million at something. It doesn't matter if it works or not. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. And that's why it's so much easier. They always say the first million is the hardest, and they're completely right. Once you get to a certain point, you can gamble to it. Right?
Well, doing my research and stuff, you haven't always been a multi-millionaire, yeah? I want to say probably near billionaire level or something like that. So when did you clock all of this? When did you find out this side of life?
I always knew that the Matrix existed. And I always knew that the traditional systems and
From what age did you know?
Say again?
From what age did you know?
I always knew.
Okay.
I just knew. Even when I was going to school and they're sitting there going, you're not going to get a good job if you don't get good grades. I was the one sitting there going, you're a liar. Shut up. I just knew the teacher was lying. I knew school was bullshit. I knew college was bullshit. I knew university was a lie. I always knew it was a trick and a con. I didn't truly understand things to the level I understand them now. But I had an intrinsic understanding, and I think everybody does. If you're in a gas station and it's 3 a.m. and a Lambo pulls up and a guy gets out of it, you're thinking criminal, drug dealer, gangster. Yeah. You're not thinking, he has a uni degree. Because you're not going to think that. So when you see money, people don't even associate the money they see with university. But then they go, I want to make money, so I go to university. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense at all. So I think everybody knows that the system and the path they lay out for you is not a path that's going to lead to where you want to be. And I didn't know what the other path was, but that intrinsic distrust for the system and that distrust for the things they wanted me to do made me search for other avenues. And then I found them, right? And if you speak to the people who are richest, if you speak to the people you know, this is for everyone at home as well, if you speak to the people you know who have the most money and go up to them and say, hey, what made you rich? None of them say school. Do any of them say school made me rich? I got an A in GCSE. Like, who gives a shit? It's bullshit, right? So it's all indoctrination. So I knew it was indoctrination, and for that reason, I was always searching. If you're searching, you're going to find.
Yeah. So. No, I always believed that as well. Growing up as well, I always thought that. Here was my theory. I've got a theory of business studies. A lot of people thought I was full of and stuff, yeah? But I want to kind of hear your opinion towards it. So I've done business studies in GCSE. In my opinion, the whole textbook, everything, the teacher, everything's full of. Yeah, literally, I feel like they overcomplicate it and confuse it on purpose because they don't want entrepreneurs, right? And they want people to be stuck in the system. People said I'm full of because of that.
No, I know exactly what you're saying, but they teach you things that the problem is as well, it's difficult because the way that humans work and the way that we've evolved as a species is that we don't really learn lessons unless they're learned the hard way.
Yeah.
I believe that unless a lesson is taught the hard way, you're not going to learn it. You can have so many near misses and people won't learn their lesson. Bro, you must know a guy who goes out there, nearly crashes his car, doesn't slow his ass down till he wrecks it.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how people are, right? So you need that pain for the lesson to sting enough to really genuinely go inside of your mind. And it's the same with everything. It's the same with driving a car or business. Truthfully, if you want to learn a lesson about business, you're going to have to suffer at some point, right? So we always say that most people are not successful with their first companies, X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. I get that. The truth is, there's a lot of people who make a lot of money with their first company, but they just spunk it, act an idiot, and it all blows up in their face. And that's how you get the discipline on your fourth company that when you have $3 million in the bank, you just leave it there. You know, and don't be done with it. So you need to go through some pain. You need to experience some negative things. You need to have to a degree some trauma to really even learn any lessons. So yeah, business studies. You're right. The book that's not going to teach you anything about business. You need to get out there in the streets. You need to make mistakes. You need to suffer. You need to have the tax man knocking at your door. You got to deal with all that stuff so that you make sure it doesn't happen again. I really think that humans are stupid enough to only learn the hard way. That's kind of how it works. True. Well, you always have to make a trade-off. And the trade-off is usually between laws and the strength of the government and the judicial system and your safety, right? This is the usual trade-off. So Dubai, which I love and I spend a lot of time in, the judicial system is extremely harsh, the laws are extremely harsh, but it's very, very safe. I'll accept that trade. If you give me a powerful government and a powerful police force, but you give me my safety to wear a $5 million watch, I'll take that one. But you have countries like America and England where the judicial system and the police are dangerous and they can mess you up at a whim, but they don't even give you your safety. So now I have to be scared of the cops arresting me for no reason and the criminal killing me. So they don't even give me a fair trade-off. So in my view, if I'm going to live in a country with a strong judicial system and a strong legal system, I want them to provide me my safety on the street and the safety of my family. And if they don't do that, I don't see why they're seen as so strong. There's countries in Africa and Southeast Asia, etc., where the judicial system's a joke. Then fine, the streets aren't safe, the police ain't doing their job, that all makes sense to me, right? When the police are going to come along and mess you up for not wearing a mask, or catch you for speeding and wreck your life, but they can't even offer you safety, then fuck them. So I decided to move somewhere else, and there are countries in the world where there's a really interesting, delicate balance of a government and a police force which are not strong. And when I'm saying that, I'm not saying I'm breaking the law. I'm not saying it in that way. I'm saying that minor infractions or tiny things are not going to be, I'm not going to be persecuted to the end of earth I would in the UK for a parking ticket.
Yeah, it's
right?
mad because they literally say in the UK all the time, people getting caught more for speeding like that than people getting caught for stabbing.
100%, right? And this is what I even said. Like in Romania, you don't get parking tickets. You just fucking park. You just dump the car, nobody gives a shit, right? So it's just a different way of life over there. But at the same time, Romania and a few other countries in the world, a lot of them are in Eastern Europe, they have a strong morality because they're very religious countries. So although the police are not seen as a strong police force, they're not like the English police, they're not as well funded, they don't have as fast cars, whatever.
Yeah.
It's actually very safe because people just have a different view of life.
Yeah.
So it all adds up. So I moved there purely for small things, bro. Kept getting parking tickets, kept getting this, that, a letter. When you're living in the UK, bro, you get a new letter through your mailbox every day. Someone wants money for something. You did something wrong. You had some fun.
HMRC.
Yeah, you were breathing that day. Give us money. I was just like, fuck, why am I here? Bounced.
Yeah.
So I just left, and I had really good friends in Romania. I went to visit and ended up staying.
But why not Dubai? Because me personally, if I was to move anywhere, I'd probably go to Dubai.
I understand. I completely understand that. That's a good choice. And
Because the only thing we've been, like, us boys, we've all here probably been caught speeding, especially my man here. Yeah. And that's the only thing. They don't really give a shit about speeding like that. They'll pull you over, say why you speeding, all that. But the second you commit a proper crime, you're You know
and I respect Dubai. I really like Dubai. And like I said, I even have no problems obeying every single tiny law down to speed if you're going to give me my safety. But if you cannot offer me my safety on the street, then I think that you've failed as a country and failed as a judicial system, and I don't see why I should have to comply with any of your rules. That's the basic understanding of it. So yeah, I love Dubai. I spend a lot of time there. And even though I live in Romania, I've only been there since the beginning of this year. I've been there less than 2 weeks. So I'm never home anyway. So for me, it's just a base. It's just sort of park the cars, right? So it is what it is. I'm always jumping around because once you have a jet, you can time travel. So you're time traveling all the time. So
is the jet yours, or how does the whole jet lifestyle work?
A shell company owns a subsidiary to a company which owns a jet, which I can borrow. I don't own anything. Hello, everyone on YouTube. I am broke. I'm a brokey. I don't own anything. You can't take nothing from me, HMRC. I don't have anything. I'm poor. I go to fucking O2 down there. They won't give me a phone contract. I ain't got nothing. I'm broke. I just get to borrow these Bugattis. I got really good friends. So, but yeah, like once you can fly on private planes, you can time travel. So that changes the entire scope of the world.
Yeah. I'm interested to know, you flew from Austria to the UK, right?
Yeah.
Recently.
Yeah.
How much does that private jet cost? I'm just interested in knowing jet costs.
If you were to charter that jet, it depends. If you have your own plane, you just pay for the fuel, and then it depends if you want to. I have my own pilot, but if you had a pilot, you could hire a pilot, you'd hire an air hostess, catering, etc., etc. So let's say you owned the plane. In fuel, that might cost you around $7,000-8,000. If you were going to charter that plane, it'd probably cost 25-30 grand, something like that. So about 30 grand for the flight.
Quick question: is your pilot a male?
I'm gonna get all the feminists angry now when I say that I don't trust female pilots. Listen, women are amazing creatures and they're very good at certain things in the world and they're very needed. And I'm not gonna sit here and say that women are unimportant or unneeded, because they're not. They're very, very needed. But women can't even park cars, G. You see them, they can't even parallel park. You gonna trust them in the sky? To curb your plane? Fuck no. No, sir. Give me a man, please. Give me a man. Give me an old man who was in the military, done a lot of years. It's getting bumpy. I need to have confidence. Like I have some chick up there doing her lipstick. No, thank you. So, but yeah, jets changed the game. That's another thing, because even before COVID, I never thought I'd buy a jet. I thought it was a big spend of money, waste of money, right?
How much are they? About 20 mil?
It depends on the plane you get, depends how you want to have it fitted out, that kind of thing. But I never thought I'd buy one. But then they tried to keep telling me to put a mask on. I couldn't have it, so I had to get one. And then once you get one, it completely changes how you view the world, because now you can time travel. If I wanted to fly to, let's say, Vienna from here on a normal airplane, let's say the flight's at midday, I get to the airport at 10 a.m., sit around for 2 hours, fly at 12, land at 2, another hour. By the time I do the passport, get my bag, my whole day's gone, right? But if I want to fly to Vienna with my plane, I send a text message, say we're leaving at 12, I get there at 11:59, we take off at 12, I land, and by 12:01, the BMW's in the runway, I'm back on the motorway, right? So it literally only takes 2 hours. All the things on the other side are gone. It takes 2 hours to get in and out of central London.
Yeah.
In a car.
Yeah.
So I can get to Vienna, to me, going to Vienna now is the same as going to West End. It's like, cool, it's an hour, it's 2 hours, hour and a half, 30 minutes, whatever it is. So it changes how you view the world. And that's why I end up jumping around all over the place. So I got something to do here, there. So it's 4 or 5 countries in a day sometimes, and
That's mad.
you're like, bro, let's organize this thing. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing by 6 p.m.
You know,
bro.
I
I don't know
actually
what I'm
got
doing
shook
next week.
I appreciate the fact that you're here. I actually got shook because when we were talking about doing this on Friday, I saw your story and you were jetting off again. I thought, like, what's happening? And then you're back as well. Anyway,
Yeah, bro, it never ends. So I have to stay flexible. There's a lot of things I have to do in a lot of places, and I wake up each day and decide which one's going to get done. And
Yeah. You know, I think now's a good point to transition all the way back to now you understand your lifestyle, how it is now. Let's dive all the way back to the point where you were a brokey.
yeah, the good old
Brokey
days. The good old days.
Yeah.
Some of the best days of my life were brokey days.
You think, yeah?
Yeah, man, I miss the brokey days.
Why?
Because when you have limitations,
Money makes it fun though.
money does make life fun, but when you have limitations, you're better at living in the moment, and you're better at appreciating things. So what happens is that now at my point, right, no matter how much fun I'm having, it's always, even if it's only 1% in the back of my mind, that it could be more fun somewhere else. If I can go anywhere I want all the time with no limitations, I never have to turn up to a job, I don't have anything I have to do, I can go anywhere, right? And I got a plane waiting for me. If I'm in Marbella in the middle of a party, no matter how good that party is, how much fun I'm having, whatever girls I'm with, whatever, and my boy texts me from Mykonos saying it's going off in Mykonos, part of me is thinking, should I just... I can get there by... It's 3 a.m. now. I can be there before the club closes in Mykonos. And then it's hard to just live in the moment and be happy with what you're doing. Does that make sense? Because there's unlimited choices. It's like going to Tesco. There's only one sandwich. It's fine. There's 100 sandwiches. You start reading every sandwich. Which one's the one I want? Maybe that one was better. So... the brokey days were good days, bro, man. Like, I'd get McDonald's, and you're laughing with your boys.
Yeah.
The brokey days were great. I'm not complaining about being rich. Obviously, I worked hard for this, and it's a fantastic life I live now. But I think without those brokey days, without those original days to compare it to, without that juxtaposition, then I don't think being rich would be fun at all. I think it's only fun because you can compare it to the days when you weren't rich. It's the only thing that makes it fun. The only thing that makes a $10,000 steak fun is that you can laugh saying how you never had 10 grand in your bank till you were 27 years old.
Yeah.
Like otherwise it's boring. Otherwise, okay, steak. And I think if you're born with too much money, that you'll never truly be happy. I think you need the brokey days. They're the best days.
Yeah, because some people are literally brought up rich, born into money, essentially.
Yeah.
You know, if your dad's born, if you're born and your dad's got Ferraris, Lamborghinis and stuff like that,
Yeah.
you think that they're not really experiencing true fun and happiness sort of thing because they don't know the difference.
It's not the destination, it's the journey, and humans, we all work in regards to, it's even the way the human body works, right? If you're driving at 200 miles an hour, you don't feel it. You only feel the acceleration getting to 200 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So if you're born at 200 miles an hour, it doesn't feel fast. It doesn't feel fun. My life feels fun now because of all the acceleration to get here, and I can remember the times when I was stuck by the side of the motorway without a car.
Yeah.
So I have that juxtaposition. Without that, it's not even interesting. It's not even fun. So the brokey days, anyone who's out here who's broke, good. These would be the happiest days of your life once you made it. You just got to remember everything and sit around with your boys. I mean, maybe some people change with money. Maybe if you get new friends and things change. But I hang around with the exact same people I did when I was poor. I got the same friends. I live with the same people, the same guys, same jokes, nothing's changed for me. So for me, I'm just a broke guy with a bunch of money. That's all that's happened.
Just the financial situations have changed.
Yeah, the financial situation's changed. That's it.
So what, you grew up in Luton, right?
Yeah.
So what was your whole upbringing like then?
Yeah, so I
life,
was born in America. I left America when I was 10.
Yep.
Moved to Luton, where my mom was originally from. Went to Lee Manor High School in Marsh Farm. I think it was one of the bottom 3 high schools in the country at the time. Went to a nice rubbish high school. Went to college, did some A-levels. Rejected university because they tried to tell me to do a personal statement. Couldn't be bothered.
Is it?
Yeah, that was literally
What
it.
would you have studied in uni?
I did really well in my A-levels. In my GCSEs, I didn't try, and I got a bunch of B's and C's, and I know I'm a genius, right? So it annoyed me. So I thought I'm actually going to try for my A-levels. So I got a bunch of A's. I did business studies as well, got an A, and then I did some advanced diploma in business studies for the top 1% of scores or some crap, and I got a merit in that. And then I was offered a place at what was it called? Begins with A. Ascot.
Okay, yeah, that's in next to Birmingham.
Yeah, for advanced business, like basically what every man would dream of, right? Advanced business, university, blah blah. I offered this place, and they said I had to do a personal statement. I said no, I don't. I've already been offered a place. They already give me a place because I'm the big G. Look at my scores. And they said no, you still have to do a personal statement. I was like, why? Who's gonna read this? Hi, my name's Andrew. I like to run. I go to the gym. Like no one's reading this shit. Like, why am I even writing this? It offended me.
Yeah.
And my class tutor, whoever she was like, well, everyone's doing one. I was like, you know what, get fucked. Tell Ascot to get fucked too. So I didn't even go. I quit that. My mom went nuts, obviously. Told her I was going to be a kickboxing world champion. She's like, no, you're not. Wrong. So I just started kickboxing. I got a normal job, got a wagey job. I was a wagey. I was working as an IT technician in my former high school, fixing laptops.
Okay.
Got fired from there for sleeping with the head girl. That's how it is. It's hard out here.
How old was you?
I was like 18, and she was 16. So I was like, what's the problem? And they're like, oh yeah, but you're a member of staff. Whatever. So I got fired from there. And then, I got some sales jobs. And I was training hard to fight. And I think sales jobs are probably the best job any person can get. If I had to get a job again, it'd be a sales job. Because you learn a lot as a salesman. You learn, and sales is a really important skill. You learn a skill, and also if you're actually good at it, it's not even really like having a job. They don't fire the top salesman.
Yeah, no, they don't.
No, they do not fire the top salesman. You
Yeah.
turn up late. You crash your car.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, G. Boom. Here's my numbers. And like, oh, all right, dickhead. But all right, bye. They don't give a fuck if you're the big boss, right? So if you're a salesman, it's the only time you get any kind of freedom, and also all the responsibility and all the pressures on your back where it belongs. As a man, you need to adopt stress and adopt problems if you want to be successful as a man. And as a salesman, you get that. So I had a bunch of sales jobs. I did a bunch of sales things. I was fighting. Became world champion, started making money with fighting, but even fighting, kickboxing is not boxing, bro. Most I ever got paid for a fight was like 200 grand.
Yeah, because some boxers, I think Amir Khan for his last fight, rumors have it that he got paid about 6 million or something like that.
Yeah. Boxing's different.
That's big money, yeah.
Yeah, it's big money. But as a kickboxer, you don't make that much money, man. I had an apartment and a BMW, and I was doing all right, but I wasn't balling. You know, I couldn't just pull money out the sky and just do whatever. Like if you're fighting twice in a year.
Yeah.
And let's say you get 50 grand for one fight, 40 grand for another fight, 90 grand? By the time you give your manager 20%, pay all your rent, paid your car, but you ain't rich, right? And that's the best you'll ever get out of kickboxing, ever.
Well, even at top level.
Top level. You have to go to UFC, and even most UFC fighters have no money.
Yeah.
You gotta be the champ to get paid.
Yeah, people saying Dana White actually robs their fighters.
Well, I mean, the thing is with the UFC, is that everyone says Dana White should pay them more, but look at how liquid the UFC is. Even during COVID, when basically every other organization couldn't function and shut down, he managed to keep shows running, he managed to keep UFC running, keep fighters getting paid, keep fighters in shape. I mean, I know a lot of kickboxers who didn't have a fight for two and a half years. How are you gonna stay in shape for 2.5 years?
Yeah, then you come out.
Doing what?
Yeah.
Are you gonna drive to the gym every day, eat good every day without you're not even getting paid to fight? So it's hard. So maybe he does rub the fighters. I don't know, but he's an excellent businessman who's provided a platform for people. But the point I'm trying to make is that fighting as a career path is a terrible career path because it's just too hard to make money. Too much can go wrong. You can get unlucky. You can break your hand. You know, you can get sick on the day before a fight and then lose the fight because you had a bit of a cold and now you got knocked out and you're you know what I mean? Like it's hard. It's too hard. It's unpredictable. So I always knew that even when I was fighting, and I was always trying to find a way to make money. Even when I was fighting, all I did was try different ways to make money. I tried a million things, and that's what you have to do. You have to try a bunch of things and learn a bunch of lessons until you finally find something that works.
When did you find when did you have like your first taste of true money?
That's a good question, and I think one of the reasons why I was so motivated to make money is because even when I was completely broke, through fighting, I had access to a lifestyle. I saw money, right? So, man, I can tell you stories now that even sound stupid to me. I went to Deauville, France to fight for a world title, and I was sitting there, and the promoter hadn't turned up yet, and I ordered 2 Waters, 2 Perrier.
Yeah.
And they came and they were like €9 each. And I paid for them and I said to Tristan, 20 quid for fucking water. Because we're brokies. And he's like, yeah, that's crazy. And we're looking around and there's all these tables just with water, champagne, food, you know, like $1,000 lunches, £1,000 lunches. No one gave a shit, right? And we're sitting there going, where are we going wrong with life? Like, we're worried about the price of water. That dude's got a lobster. He's got like a big bottle of champagne. He's got 3 chicks. Like, we're going wrong. So I always knew there was, outside of the Matrix, there were these people who were living in a way that money didn't have any significance. Money wasn't real to them. So I always knew it. I was always around it, especially through fighting. I went to a bunch of crazy countries, Kazakhstan, all these places. We're in Kazakhstan, a poor country. It's just G-Wagon, 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 G-Wagon. I'm like, what's going on? Like, there are people who are living outside the Matrix, and once you live outside of it, once you get to a certain level of incomes and wealth, everything becomes free. Like, when I was looking at the price of that water, no one else in that restaurant even looked at the price of anything. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm like now. I don't know the price of anything I eat or buy. If it's not a house or a car, even most supercars, G, I don't even know. If I want the new Maserati, the MC20, the Spider, I'm just going to text my boy, yeah, fully spec, every option. And it's going to come out the bank and I ain't going to notice. Like, it doesn't make a difference. If I have 11.8 million or 11.4 million,
what difference
does it make? It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So you get to a point where the whole world's free. And then you start just buying stuff, not because you want it, but because it's completely free. So even if you 1% want it, right? You're like, oh, well, I might use it once. 400 G's. I might drive it one day this summer.
Yeah.
You know, and that's how you get to it. It's the same way people just buy coffee at a whim. You end up doing that with everything. So I always knew that kind of life existed. I used to talk with my brother about it all the time. I was like, bro, we're doing something wrong. Something doesn't add up. We're still thinking in terms of like make money, spend money, money in the bank. It doesn't. There's people who are living for free and they just point at things and they get everything they want. My brother used to call me crazy. He's like, what are you talking about? I was like, no, there's the Matrix. We're inside the system. We need to escape. And now I managed to find a way out. So I always knew it existed. I was always looking for it. And it does exist, man. You can get to a point of income. You can get to a point of wealth generation where literally everything, I don't know how else to say it. I want to say it in a more articulate way for the sake of the podcast. The only way I can explain it is everything is free. That's how I view the world. Everything's free. If I want something, it's free. I want dinner's free, coffee's free, supercars are free, private jets are free, it's free, it's free. I just want it because all they want is numbers on a screen, and numbers on a screen are what's the numbers on a screen? It's nothing. It's free. I don't know how else to say it. You're telling me if I give you some numbers on a screen, you're going to go and build me a W16 fucking Bugatti Chiron Pure Sport and you're going to deliver it to me in my house and you're going to put it in the color I want and it's going to be gorgeous and beautiful and everyone's going to be jealous and you're going to do that and all you want is a few numbers on a screen? Safe.
Take it.
I don't give a fuck. It's free. I don't know how else to explain it. That's the world. That's the level the world gets to.
That's mad. So you and Tristan, you do everything together, right? Yeah.
Correct.
You share everything, businesses, bank accounts.
Correct.
I think the only thing you don't share is girls, right?
Correct.
So what's that like, and where did that whole relationship with you and your brother come from? Because I think a lot of people in the UK especially, they kind of view their brothers as the complete polar opposite of them.
Yeah.
And don't want to do anything with them. You do your own thing.
Yeah.
So when did you and Tristan think that, okay?
I think that's one of the biggest mistakes that people can make. And one of the largest things that hold people back from wealth is the people around them. Not only because of the mindsets of the people around them, but also trying to find people around you who you can truly actually trust is difficult.
Yeah.
It's difficult, man. I'm telling you, if you get 20 people, 20 full-grown men in a room, and they can trust each other completely and nobody's out to snake you, even if all 20 are working normal jobs, but they pool their spare income, you will be rich. You'll be fine. The problem is finding 20 people you can trust, right? 20 people with normal jobs, even with normal jobs, you could pool your spare income, you could buy cryptocurrencies, you could buy houses, you could do whatever you want to do, and you would find a way to escape the matrix. At least, maybe not to the insane levels, but you'd all be comfortable, right, by just pooling incomes. Problem is, one of them 20's gonna snake you. One of them 20, his woman's gonna leave him, and he's gonna get fucked over, and you're gonna get fucked over by extension. One of them 20, his wife will be in her ear. You're always out with them boys. You can't be with them anymore. The woman gets involved, starts messing it all up. So it's hard. A lot of people don't understand that the entire world, the most valuable thing on the planet today is human capital. Even the people at the very, very top echelons of life, all they care about is controlling people. The people who are in charge of governments and stuff, all they care about is controlling people, making sure you do what they want you to do. I don't want to get too political and talk about Epstein's Island and all that crap, but once you get to a certain level of money, all they want is people. People are the most important thing. You can't have a business without people. You can't have a government without people. You don't have anything without people. So I don't see why you wouldn't have the people you're born with, who share blood with, and just do a handshake as men and say, okay, let's not fuck each other over, let's get rich. Because now you're doubling your manpower, right? You're doubling up. So I think that I was always close with my brother and he's always been close with me because we are a team, and you need to have a team. And if you have a team, you stand a better chance. It's player versus player out here, man. It's on the street. It's not easy. For every dollar you make, for every pound you take, you took it from someone else. You don't make money, you take money. People don't understand the way that money works. You're not the Federal Reserve. You can't create money from thin air. Every single pound in your bank is money you took from someone else. And when I say take, I don't mean it in a negative way. You might have convinced them to give it to you. You might have a coffee shop. I'll give you a nice coffee. You'll give me some money. Cool. But you still took his money, right? So if you're out here trying to take stuff from other people, don't you want to have a team? You want to do it by yourself? You want to be Rambo?
Because if you get two of you doing it,
you get two of you. That's right. So the whole idea of this lone soldier, this Rambo, I'll do it all by myself, that's all dead. You need to have a team. It's player versus player. And for the same reason, if you were out here on the street and you want to defend yourself, you want your boys around you, it's the same thing with trying to get rich. Problem is, trying to find guys on your level. That's the hard part, right?
So you and Tristan have always been closer.
We've always been close since the beginning. Every single battle either of us had to face, we faced as a team. And our battle to become rich, we faced as a team. We sat there and go, okay, we are going to get rich. It doesn't matter if right now I'm going to start this business and I ain't going to make any money. So you're going to work a wagey job so we have somewhere to live. And I'm going to focus on this as a team, right? So at least we have somewhere to live. If I'm working wagey job, we can't focus on the business. If we're both trying the business, we have nowhere to live, etc. So we've always worked as a team. We've doubled up our manpower. And I think a lot of men understand this and intrinsically would like the idea of this. But a lot of the time, women get in the way. I've seen it a million times, bro. I've seen women get in the way of partnerships like that so many times. Because women don't like you having a strong masculine network, because then you don't need them. They want you to need them. I'll help you. I'll be your partner. That's the biggest mistake. Don't even get me started. Biggest mistake you can make as a man is trying to start business with your wife or some shit. That's a headache.
Why is that?
Bro, and I don't know who I'm going to offend or upset now, but this is how it goes. Because now you got two different battles. You got the relationship you're trying to be in control of, and now you got to deal with the business as well. Now it's different if you run the business and you hire her, and she does a little bit of admin. Cool, that's fine. But I'm talking about, let's say
50-50 business partners.
Yeah, let's say your chick goes, I want to open a beauty salon, and you pay for her to open a beauty salon. And now this beauty salon, you've put $1 million of your money in it. and it's not open on a Thursday. You're like, why isn't it open on Thursdays? Oh, I had a headache. What do you mean you had a headache, bro? I just spent $1 million. Yeah, but Claire's sick and I have a headache. And now you got the relationship, it's all messed up. This bitch is lazy. She thought it'd be like Sex in the City episode where she just drinks lattes and makes money. And she realized she had to actually do shit. You know what I mean? And it's all getting messy there. Whereas when you're with your boys and you, let's say you invest $1 million in something, it's not open on Thursday, you can go over to the house and say, what the fuck's wrong with you? Don't be a bitch. You're men. Yeah. You could just say, look, we need to open. You can't do that with chicks. It's hard. So even now, I've got 45 people to work for me, and not a single one is a female. Not one.